In the last video, we discussed about the perpendicular distance from a point to a line, correct? Now, in this video, what if we want the distance between the two parallel lines? Okay, so for that, we need to do simple derivation. Now, look at this particular figure. You have x and y axis, correct? Now, in this, so this is the origin. You know that this is the y axis, this is the x axis. Now, let's draw two lines which are parallel to each other, okay? So, let's assume that we have one line, something like this. So, assume that this is the first line and say the second line is parallel. Second line is somewhere here, something like this. Fair enough? Say the first line is given by y is equal to m1x plus c1. This is the first line. And the second line, maybe I'll write it in a different color. Second line, let's call this as y is equal to m2x plus c2. So these are the two lines what we have. Now the perpendicular distance between the two lines, correct? That can be calculated very easily. So what we are going to do, we'll take the point on the x-axis. See here, the x-intercept point. From here, we are going to draw a perpendicular. Okay, this perpendicular is what we are looking at. Fair enough? That means here, so let's say this point is A. Okay, some point A, say this point is B. What we are looking at is the distance AB, correct? Now, point A is nothing but the x-intercept of the first line, and we know what is the formula for that one, isn't it? So here, when you try to do this one, you are going to get minus C1 divided by M1, comma 0. But since the two lines are parallel, can we not say that M1 is equal to M2? Correct? So what we can tell is that since the lines are parallel to each other, we can say M1 is equal to M2, say is equal to M. Assume. That means the two lines are now what? The first line L1 becomes y is equal to mx plus c1, and L2 will be y is equal to mx plus c2. One is mx plus c1, mx plus c2. Make sense? Now, A is a point. From that point, we are drawing a perpendicular onto the second line. Correct? This is what we are looking at. So, what is the formula what we have? The perpendicular distance d is equal to mod of ax1 plus by1 plus c1 divided by root of a square plus b square. Isn't it? Second line. Remember, second line, but the point is on the first line. Correct? So here, d value becomes, now ax1. Now we can write this. We can write this particular line, the second line. That means what I'm talking about is I'm talking about this particular line. We can write this as minus mx plus y minus c2. Correct? Take everything to the LHS. This is equal to 0. That means here a value is minus m. So minus m. And what is the point? Point is this one, minus c1 by m1. But m1 and m2 are nothing but m itself. So we can write this as into minus c1 divided by m. Correct? Next. Next, what is c1? Minus c2, isn't it? So minus c2 whole divided by modulus of this root of m square plus 1. Correct? So d value becomes, see here m and m cancels, minus and minus is plus. You get c1 minus c2 mod of this over root of m square plus 1. Isn't it? So this, what we are looking at, this becomes the formula for the parallel line distance between them, or you can say it's a distance between two parallel lines. Now this is where we have in terms of y is equal to mx plus c. Suppose if you have the form as a1x plus b1y plus c1, a2x plus b2y plus c2. So for that we look in here, we have a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equal to 0 and a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0, correct? Now the distance, the parallel, these are two parallel lines, isn't it? Now the distance between them is going to be, remember guys, if they are parallel lines, then remember this value and this value will be equal, this value and this value will be equal. In other words, we can say that you're going to have ax plus by plus c1 is equal to 0 and ax plus by plus c2 is equal to 0. These are two parallel lines. So the distance between them will be d is equal to mod of c1 minus c2 by root of a square plus b square. This becomes the distance between two parallel lines. Clear? This is the case. If it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, then d is equal to mod of c1 minus c2 divided by root of m square plus 1. This is the formula. Both are pretty much one and the same. Fair enough? Now that you have understood the formula and understood the derivation, we'll start with few problems based on the concept whatever we have learnt.